Hi, hello everyone. I welcome all participants to episode 3 of our Why Not series. Today's session is extra special. In these days of turmoil, many of us, whether students, graduates, or employed, have several uncertainties over availability of career opportunity in the market. But today session will highlight the need of tech entrepreneurship and provide key inputs on imbibing and developing entrepreneurial skill that is needed to establish the next tech startup in the country. It's my privilege and my pride to introduce our guest speaker of the day, Honorable Dr. Suresh Shanmugam, Head of Innovation and Future Technologies, Head of BITS Business Information Technology Solutions for Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Service Limited. So I need to, Dr. Suresh hails from the small town of Tiruvannamalai from North Tamil Nadu and comes from very humble beginning. He's a very wonderful human being. After a career spanning 3 decades, he is one of the country's leading trainer, educator, thought leader with focus on bridging the gap between academia and industry. He has been in the forefront of developing India's rural digital infrastructure and building the rural business IT solutions. He is also an expert in business process technology and the program management system and has built framework to develop the business IT secured solution to top company in India and Mahindra also. And he has conducted 750 plus academic leadership programs and team building programs across India and the globe. He is a tech lover at heart. So he has expertise in several tech fields like IT, BFSI technology, data science, analytics, and his key focus is to mentor and incubate the startup companies and support the product development and help them the scaling further for the young entrepreneurs. And he also member in several industries and government bodies such as State Technical Advisory Committee, Enterprise Architecture, and Maharashtra IT Corporation Limited, and he is a member of National Executive Council and Global CIO Certification Panel, ISB Hyderabad, and he is a chairman of CSI Mumbai chapter. So he's a long pathway. He's a very humble person. If you want to explain his qualification, this one webinar is not enough. So I don't want to take much more time. I invite Honorable Dr. Suresh Shan to start the session. Sir, the floor is yours, sir.
Thanks, Eric, for such a long introduction. It's a privilege, but I'm very thankful to you whenever you introduce me back to South, especially when I come back to South. I remember a lot. I have to say thanks to you. Nothing else.
Thank
Beyond
you.
that, I feel more happy, and I feel like it's more of my uh, compulsion to be at home. And now I'm taking this advantage to talk to people at home.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway, good evening to all. Respected people in the dais and faculty members, HOD, and professors, aspiring tech entrepreneurs, and my dear UG and PG students from engineering and science, and again, it's students across from Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Bangalore, and Mumbai. And we feel more happy when we talk to you people because at the end of the day, we look for more things from you, and we would want to empower you so that we get best out of it from you all. A special thanks to AGIIT, a unique training division, Access Global Automation Industrial Divisions. It's more, they have created a platform so that we all can be with you all and share our what our minds and machines, what the best we can do today. I'm Dr. Suresh Jeshan, researcher, and the introduction is given more on that. But I would comprise myself to create that industry versus education or industry versus academia as my bridge and trying to create my research more on behavioral science, which is part of computer science. Today, the topic is on becoming India's next tech, more to do with entrepreneurship, which is my prime and it's my one of my expected dreams. And so far, whatever we have seen, and would like to take it forward. And really, it matters a lot when it comes to people when they convert their journey from student towards a job, where whether to take a job or to create a job for other people. So it's very what you say, like no more delight, but it required some understanding, some kind of style of operation, so that we can try to build it. So let us ask that question to us as a student to say how, what, when, why professional students engage the community about the bounding Indian startups. It's a culture or enable us to be an investor or trying to create some different sectors of a style of operations which provide support for Indian startup and especially for entrepreneurs. And students, I can classify two to three, four types where when we see today, I'm part of CSI, when we go and meet, especially students across India, we found a lot more dynamism, and it's a small fireworks which has to be capitalized and try to connect so that people really get best out of it. The whole purpose of today's this webinar is to create an education system for you to create or turn around raw students into powerful entrepreneurs. And I surely believe like this, not something else different. You can see ourselves where you can question either Eril or myself or other. I can keep on narrating so many people. They have created the purpose of that and applied in their lives so that they are able to see. I'm not saying like we have achieved, but at least we have seen what we have can demonstrate. And surely we have done something else which matters a lot for us and for all of you people also to take it to the next level. Where today's concern, what I see people, especially from South, when you go deeper pockets of rural Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Karnataka, we find something to do with the technological infrastructure issues, or people say education doesn't enable us to get the best out of it. So to feel that, let us have some pre-assumptions to say in future, if at all to define something else, let us have something to do something with the available and affordable connectivity. That's what we say. Let us learn to earn from the connectivity which is online. If not, create something else using our mindsets so that we can work something on offline which enables the connectivity related. And surely electricity is an issue, but still like to create some lighter apps. And today the kind of app solution has taken us to the different world which enables us to do it. And surely the last one is the resource availability. That's what we continue to say. The kind of students power is going to be the resource availability. They are going to replace it. They are going to bring it out what best we can do from the students using their capabilities and trying to innovate and try to do something else which is relevant to us so that it makes an earning for us also to do that. And if you see in the Indian context, even if you see the current situation, people do find as much as problems and as much as symptoms which is creating across the world, especially if you see Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai going through the COVID problems. But the confidence behind us is what surely will come out with a medicine which will enable us and surely will take us to the next level. That's what the kind of customer acquisition, that's what we say. We still believe like what best we can do and how we are believing on that, which creates more acquisition towards the expected value system. What I'm trying to say, today's scenario is moving from corporate digital towards customer digital, which is nothing but every individual customer is going to be like a corporate, and every individual customer is going to be treated as a corporate. For example, if you see, go to a bank, a particular customer is treated as a good customer when he doesn't have any check returns in his passbook. That was good terminology, good olden days. We call it as a corporate digital. Now that's moving from corporate towards customer to find out whether the customer is having the social norms and having the good name and his company and other details which firmly accepted and adopted as per the new regulations and the social impact. So, and customer acquisition, good olden days, and a customer acquisition now is going to change the world because of that acceptance and the kind of technology which is getting spread across. And a main thing which we forgot or we couldn't realize thinking every time when you talk about an entrepreneur, entrepreneur means only profits. Not necessarily profits. We can do an optimizing monetization, which is nothing but a new product, introducing a new product or a new service which has the best quality and try to bring out as much as on an affordable and available cheaper price. This is purely connected to an known ethics, which we generally use it. And my research continuously states when you talk to so many entrepreneurs, a behavioral and cultural issue plays a major part of it. For example, e-business in India, it's less of electronics and more of emotions. If you are able to capture as much as more emotions, we are trying to create an particular hub where it creates and aligns to get an engagement with the customers. So you can see the kind of startups, which anyway I will narrate also some of the examples, who have created that e-business which engage more on the customer, which requires to understand, which is very easy in our kind of Indian adoption, because we are all from maximum from middle class, and we are able to get the personalized learning of paths. What we are connecting here is what the students should have something else, where people generally used to ask me, sir, where I can get an innovative thought, which institution I can go and study. I would recommend, let us try to go to our natives and stay there for whatever the time which you are finding it out, and go through that day-to-day problems, what we face in, and how we are trying to bring out a technology for that. If you see like a technology, it's not necessarily like an automation, it could be anything else, could be a new thing, and it should not necessarily compete with the cost. It could be anything else, but we can create a value system, and we can ensure like that particular technology can convert, and we can make a matured way of presenting it and getting aligned to the society, so that it earns for us. So if you see that encouraging students to a question and not be afraid to take risks is one of the many factors that India needs to establish as a healthy startup entrepreneur ecosystem. This is what we are trying to see more, and I have got something else very specific to students, which I felt like it's worth talking to us, where when we talk about industry 4.0 and other elements, it's more to do with an entrepreneurial education for students, especially when it comes what are the minimum things required for a student, so that he can convert himself or trying to adopt, so that he can get into an entrepreneur model. So create an explicitly encourage towards asking a question, what all things we can do and what things it matters a lot for the current system, and trying to create an explanation what how experiments can be observed and the network to generate such novel ideas and convert those novel ideas into the tech systems, where the students are not afraid to take chances and fail. And even if you say fail, fail fast, so that the students must know how tolerance to failure and trying to get adopt. And such things like generally people say in even an environment like Mumbai, when things fail, people get upset, or people are not very sure like how to come upon that. That failure is a natural part of innovation, where we used to connect through the incubation centers with multiple colleges to try to bring it out which kind of innovation, how the value system, and what matters a lot when it comes to, especially when students are trying to get involved as an entrepreneur and trying to deliver it. The real challenge through structured ideation efforts around across the specific topics, or if you are concerned with more to do with your day-to-day problems or themes or problems and reward for taking smart risk, is more to get into an innovation or a disruption, which we can even do in your behalf, where part of Computer Society of India, we have created more incubation centers across. We do innovate or involve people from Coimbatore, Salem, Madurai, and other parts of the country, especially when it comes to Tamil Nadu, from even Chennai and other parts, specifically at district level, where we are trying to engage with them to find out that noble ideas and how try to create that structured system to do that. In our case, what we do, and especially my current role, is what every year I have to create or talk to minimum 60 entrepreneur companies and try to get execute minimum, if you say per month 5 companies, it's around 60 companies. Out of that, half of 30 companies of 30 entrepreneurs should get participate and get engaged with our day-to-day business and get a business scenario and option, so that he can be part of the race in terms of facing the entrepreneurship and trying to create the products which enable us to get into the next level. Some of the examples, if you want to see, like we had introduced something called astrological message, where for the rural customers in the receipt it will print, where it says like being an Kanya customer, you will get your money back, which can get more emotionally attracted to the customer, where customer will get more engagement towards the company and which creates trust. So just simple things, but it matters a lot when students get involved and trying to create that particular options which they might feel it's silly or not required, but surely it matters a lot when you try to convert and it is projected as a project and it yields more value for us. It's going to create a differentiator among the other competition also. Again, provided opportunities to discover new solutions and try to create an experiment for you to redefine the value system. What here we mention is what we will create that environment. We can meet you people, we can come out with the current problems from a corporate or from a startup or even from a company into different sectors, could be agriculture, could be financial, could be more into manufacturing or even a pharma, and connect back and empower the present their ideas and ask you people to create a wisdom where we can use a collective wisdom and validate and refine these ideas and again give back to the companies so that these ideas can be directly implemented and get benefit. It's a win-win for both of you. It could be for you or it could be for the companies also. Again, getting into the opportunities which we discover new solutions where the students or even the faculties come out with some gaming model which enables more in terms of experiment, again trying to build a hands-on experience, learning to build innovation capabilities and even skill sets. For example, recently some of the college students came and told us to say in corporates you do have big offices where everywhere electricity is switched on and people are using that. Why can't you keep the control with the security guys, and wherever people are not there, it will forcibly switch off. Even though if it is not forcibly switched on, a security can be sitting at a common place and can switch off the lights. It will save enough electricity, where in our companies or especially in Mumbai and Chennai, other parts of the places where it has multiple floors and multiple connections, where how they can handle and try to bring it out. Such small situations, small scenarios which was created by students and try to test it and try to create an opportunity so that this hands-on experience of learning such thing to build an innovation capabilities and empower the skills, so that we might include even a stimulated exercise. We might even create a projects where recently we're trying to work out to find out, can we have an all-in-one tractor where it can satisfy all the requirements and needs which a farmer can operate, or a farmer can find it more easier, so that using this one device he can do the multiple purpose, multiple things, multiple options of innovation information, where student can get access to such successful innovations. They can connect with those people, they can even discuss with the creativity people and trying to create themselves as entrepreneurs, and can get advice from the mentors, and over a period of time they can be also mentor, and they can also be trying to create as much as systems which enables and trying to connect with the system. So given access to platforms and facilities through which ideas can be submitted, shared, developed, prototyped, and even piloted. Here what the exception is, what like majority people complain, I have an idea but I didn't know where to put it. I have an idea where I'm not sure whether to use it in a closed source or use it in an open source, or can we have a hybrid mix of used and closed source, or try to use some technology resource, can be part of a private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, how to use it or how to fix it. Such things also can be discussed from the basics, trying to create a value system, which all the solutions can be used and which all the solutions can be deployed from your side, and your ideas can be submitted, shared, and try to create engage with the people. And even if you have something else struggling in terms of development, bring the right people trying to support you so that you can develop it, even prototype it. We will get into the patent, talk to them, align it so that you get a unique patent, and get piloted also, get into the relevant industry, talk to them to find out how such things are going to benefit for both. Again, creating a win-win solution so that it can be piloted and try to take it up. Apps for, again, astrological message, which I mentioned, where now from the faculty sides and HODs can even work upon to get more of customer gaming at rural India. And one of the best, again, examples I can still narrate is AGIT, new technologies for next generation. Also, when I was going through the profile and talking to them, they're also having so many supportive ecosystems and more of a mentorship where CXO level trying to immense that global immersion of technology, trying to create a new value system which enables them to fix those things again, which is already demonstrated. And recently we had some discussions with the software system more on rural India like Zoho and other people. Again, they are all more keen to bring out a customer with a person who can create a product and you can give the solution part so we can have both the sides so that a student can develop a solution. We can use some platforms which is available part of your site, and you can get the cost when that is deployed and used by relevant people. So the startups in India has more opportunities and growth drivers, where when it comes to specific growth drivers, we have something else to create, to start from you, to create a scope for you and create a characteristics, so that what is the demand in Indian market, what is exactly required for that, and what are the things which we can try to make it so that it enables an engineering student to get into multiple levels and put you to the right people so that they can get engaged, they can create that scope and characteristics so that you can fit into Indian market, and trying to create a system which is for the demand versus supply. The next one is technological change, where we still find the kind of education people take it up. When they come back, they want to know like exactly what kind of software to be used, what type of hardware to be used, what type of again gadgets end user are expecting, or what type of solutions which is available so that we can use it at a small scale industries or a medium average, or something to do with the large scale, how we have to try to approach. So there we have created the balloon of systems and creating the solution which the part of people can coordinate with you, trying to update you, even create an e-learning system so that you can understand and appreciate and try to take it out how technological challenges can be taken part of it. Then the coming current COVID situation, where we see the kind of increased political will and governance support, and government is also trying to come out with what type of solutions which matters a lot for day-to-day life, and trying to align with the partners which we can try to engage. For example, now medicated related solutions, support to the medicated related solutions, startups are coming very high, and those kind of informations are available part of the trusted connected systems, where we are trying to create that companies which is increasingly seeking to engage in open innovation, and they are trying to connect with those people who are trusted, and they are able to get the solutions also. So changing the perceptions towards entrepreneurship and trying to get aligned with the increased expectations, we can even seek those line of business, seek those line of information which will connect you now, which is available part of it. And an entrepreneur model earlier, it's more to do with like you should have an idea, struggle on your own and trying to create it. Now we have enough platforms, enough systems available which can even work it out across. And recently I can tell you saying like when we want to sell vehicles, good olden days, like for us, we have enough to do with only the sale bid by the local people, and almost maximum times we had enough losses. Recently we have created multilingual apps which was generated and created by the students, and we even gave that orders to the local people, where they have talked to the students and they have created the local rent a car or whatever. It's more to do with specific model mechanism which enables people to create that system to support for them. You won't believe, we have almost some 11 apps running across, and people are getting some good values now. And good olden days, every vehicle will go in loss. At least recently we saw, till the COVID, the kind of expectations from the people, they are able to expedite, or they are able to expedite within a short term and with a good profits. So now during COVID also, this kind of things are getting more powerful and trying to get more engagement, because people across the country would want to get up and they have to try to face the challenges using the change of that challenge, which enables them to choose and create a choice of information. That's where the real challenge is, and a real expectation. That's where I would want entrepreneur model, where to get a strong fit and create a healthy system so that we can come out of such things and trying to set something else which enables us to be an unique and trying to demonstrate. And I want to see some information. When we cross the bridge, we had some challenges which again we would want to narrate, so that how the challenges across is faced and trying to get used out of technology. So building and scaling an Indian startup, which good olden days it was more to do with like you have to brand yourself, have to reach some particular amount or reach something else which create that kind of information, and you have to create the branding. Now just it simply you have to get connected to some standard sites and creating that empowered model of meeting the right relevant expectations of the business, and creating that bridge between industry and academia. Companies like Naukri.com, CII, and CSI kind of companies will try to create that thing which converts the diversity and the digital divide, which empowers you to create as much as taking the products to market with a low willingness to pay, which we can address it out. because as of today, the challenge is what, when you try to take it to the market is not willing to pay very high premium for that, and taking the product itself is a big challenge. So now, using such platforms, we should try to create some correct products. That products can be marketed through high willingness and people to pay for that particular content, and create a contextual value which can empower us to have more in terms of hiring qualified employees. Yeah, good olden days, again, qualified or a good quality education was a big task. Now it's available because of the kind of technology and apps available, part of the mobility and IoT system. You no need to land up in hiring some qualified employees. We can still use the mobile solutions. We can use the IoT solutions, especially multilingual IoT solutions with the kind of brandings and available. Complex regulatory environment can be easily achieved using the simpler and simple ways of deploying things can matter the challenges. So keeping it in a nutshell, the challenge for good olden days are now taken as positives and creating as an opportunity so that multiple people can participate, get engaged with us to create a lifelong, meaning create a path which takes us lifelong to qualify to get into an entrepreneur, and create an ecosystem which delivers both for the nation and for your individual, and try to create something else from your native bed so that the problems whatever is compliant part of your native beds also can get addressed. So what again it's purely is what that evolution of Indian startup ecosystem, it's matured or getting matured or already matured. If you classify again the sites or even the sectors, or even if you classify part of the geography, some of the metros still not get matured, they are in the steps of matured. Some of the places it is getting as much as, and some of the areas still it is going through some trauma. So we can see some examples from 2014 and Indian unique icons which they are created in different sectors, and how they are getting that strength so that you will get some confidence, and you can even feel like how even people like you all from remote locations or even from very rural or remote parts of our country have created enough and try to create as much as the aspiration which is coming part of it. So 2014 in Mobi, the mobile telecommunication started with very less, and now if you see like what are things they can do, and they can try to bring it out as much as part of the mobile and telecommunication sector. When it comes to Snapdeal, again, when it comes for e-commerce, direct to customer, they had enough, and again they are multilingual, and they're creating the district level concentration in terms of logistics and other things, getting empowered them to go closer to them. Again, Ola, if you see like that cabs, they are still success only in the metros. They couldn't even go next to the second level, third level cities because of the infrastructure, because of the cost. Because for a place in the metro or an urban, people can afford some amount for the luxury. Where when you go deeper pockets of India, the luxury is not paid with a high. So they want some technology which is affordable, again available. It should be at the same cost. So that's where the concept of trying to create something else, where Ola Cabs is asking for the people like you, students can come out with some apps, how we can try to do it, which we have even demonstrated within Mumbai, and we got some reference and even suggestions from the people to say, shall we use something to have some Google kind of thing, where it will have the same fare, taxi fare as per the government or as per the rules set within the limits of the urban, semi-urban, and if you go to remote and rural locations. So the cost should vary, again cost should fix as per the government, as fixed accordingly, and the amount will be verified part of the Google or part of some regulated system, so that Ola and other things can't charge you more, and you don't land up in paying high or heavy price because the technology is so costly. Again, getting into the other parts, where if you see from the food, where you say from 2018, where you are getting that Swiggy, Zomato, again fintech side you can see from Policy Bazaar, all the things started with something else. Again, they are all now getting changed during this COVID. They have understood very clearly, even from the bill desk, they said supply chain, logistics and delivery, it matters a lot. So they are looking for so many things as part of apps, which is good opportunity for you people to work out some delivery system, create such apps and talk to the right people, so that this can even build some new systems and trying to use it, so that internet software services, supply chain, logistics, delivery services, even getting into auto or transportation, every small thing now they are trying to localize it and trying to build up, so that we can try to use that geography of a startup and trying to build as much as an entrepreneur support a core ecosystem to anchor that provided the support from the local. So what we are telling here, even the data centers, we are talking to the people to say, instead of keeping it only in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, let them talk, deciding like distributing such things in part of the district level and moving towards the interior parts of India, so that they can create that elements of startup support, which creates an institutional missions of targeting startups. So their expectation is what, like what we can do with the kind of data centers which is going to be there till the time we are not getting heavy business from the corporates. So immediate expectation from CSI, we forcibly told them to say every rural nook and corner we have enough colleges, enough engineering colleges, enough science and other medical related colleges coming up, and those things can be used materialized towards your data center. Let us start focusing more of that particular rural district, so that the district get more information about you. And the corporate digital is moving anyway towards the customer digital, where every individual customer core ecosystem is part of the data center. When you start creating some new apps which is multilingual and precise to that local last mile, it will create that startup support, and you can get more of institutional missions which can target the startups, and startups can also have a breathing system which is part of the local. This is again going to empower us to create as much as systems, where the current COVID has put everyone in trouble to find out office space and infrastructure is going to get changed now. After COVID, post COVID, we will have most of the people working from that relevant places, or even work from home, and trying to create business support and mediation, where that whatever we are having an enterprise model is going to get more into an IoT and mobile model, where individual every particular either an agent or a customer or even the end user access is going to have more of that assistant system, which is going to create as much as more towards the last mile. And there's all things are expected to create some app solutions and the developed models, which is even going to get funded, and funded with assistance with fundraising. All areas have moved to multiple relevant supporting software measures, which now we are focused more towards the local. And if you want to again take that similar types which is happening across the country, which we found like places like Mumbai, especially Pune and all, getting things migrated towards Aurangabad, Nasik and other places. Even from Chennai, if you see like recently when we talk to the people where that kind of airports, which is part of Tamil Nadu, again when you see from Salem, Coimbatore, Madurai and other parts now getting very closer to the district level, and they are trying to empower it, which is going to materialize lot more in terms of transportation, which is going to create that logistics, so that people have more options to create that much as research of design, which will enable us to create data collection, and that information is going to empower us as much as towards getting into the description of samples, which will enable us to deliver what are best part of the local systems. Again, if you get into the various sectors, especially now the government sectors getting more of private incubators, accelerator with hybrid business model. So these all various sectors, if you see, they are looking for some of the partners, especially they are looking for some of the solutions which can create that manage operations, or trying to use the share and care model, which creates as much as part of the startups and young businesses, which we are trying to use for consultancy service, health, nutrition, especially mobile payments, all other things which as much as we got or accepted more from the logistics which created from the students across the country. And when you create something of a corporate incubation, again accelerator also, which is coming, especially part of the urbans, we can see is more in Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, and again Delhi, where they have created as much as from the telecom, media and entertainment. Even fintech and retail is playing a major role and trying to create as much as importance, which is going to create different sectors. And academic incubators are going to get more value for people coming as an entrepreneur, which they want to become future marketing consultant, prediction of marketing, or would want to contribute as much as for the various sectors which we can drive in. Even angel investors recently came out and they said for all the projects whatever they are trying to do, they are looking for some consultants, where they could be from the education centers or from the people who are interested to contribute their smart knowledge using the technology, which could be an app or which could be the multiple technology systems, which they would want to work as consultants and paid for that every individual action, where not necessarily a startup, you could be more of an industry association, young business entrepreneur, where you can support that for specific individuals. And again, if you look from the women side, like all the women students can feel proudly now, the platform for women entrepreneurs in terms of various sectors has created a part of Bangalore, Coimbatore, again Chennai and other parts, Hyderabad, where they have said like they are looking for more in terms of to create that partners, advisors in terms of creating the virtual funds and startup mentor, where even part of the state governments trying to initiate like they want to do more in terms of IT, biotech and areas in various sectors. So there are enough options available. Even the funds, if you see from the entrepreneurship, if you are properly aligned and elevated through proper channels, surely we can get those things and we can try to create that incubators where part of the data, again IT side, we can look for more in terms of cloud, more in terms of computing, and trying to create that IoT. Now for the end user gadgets, we are planning to create an incubation center where people should come out with to say how we can create an gadgets where people can use multilingual and trying to fix it so that they can use it as much as that part of the business. So we can create a business school, part of innovation, which can get enabled and create a platform where the fintechs, consumers, and networking create as much as incubators and accelerate that so that we can create an industry association and create that a platform for the startups to use that incubated so that they can have more to do with mobile apps which is used for mobility and food, especially food wise. Now if you see post COVID, enough food wise that mobile solutions coming out, and everything is like to get more matured in terms of getting multilingual and creating that as much as mobile apps which is from the specific requirement from the last mile. Even recent 2 3 especially from south, we got people who make pots out of clay. They are now deploying as much as through AWS, and Amazon is helping them to create and sell out that products, which again we are trying to expect students to create as much as the startup solution so that it gets more matured, reach to more people, and trying to create that where crowdsourcing and other areas which is now going to play a different role, and such things is going to create an importance which enables us to deliver it. And again, service to industries, maximum industries looking as much as apps internally for the automation, where so far the automation was more towards the enterprise solution. Again, now enterprise solution is moving towards the customer solution. So looking more from the engineering and consulting in automation, again solutions in instrumentation and control systems, and creating as much as information. Again, we can use similar type of Access Global Automation where for robotics, designing firmware applications for PLC, HMI, and creating that again SCADA robotics and DCS drives of servo systems, and trying to create as much as connections which is available now, create as much as automation which will help us to do an installation through automation, because physically people can't go for it, and trying to get enabled and trying to do commissioning and maintenance nowadays. Field service for a company like us, we have 35,000 people across the country. During this COVID, even a data, we have more than 3 4 data centers, and 35,000 people are purely handled using VPN solutions remote. If such things are possible, then why not we bring as much as automation in other places, and even the migration and upgrades all through remote, and bringing as much as new product development and do the control panel whatever manufacturing today to create that profit projects and create those technical trainings through e-learning and other available solution, which generally creates a big thing, which anyway currently Axis Global Automation today is multi-facilitated business group which enters 2 business domains, including that industrial automation and robotics system integration. And they are also trying to create that new product development, special purpose in machines and customized robotic solutions, etc. Can be part of it, which already somebody is doing in front of us and demonstrating. Let us see such examples and try to create so that it enables us to set part of the system and creating as much as, which we will try to take it up. Since 2 3 people have raised the hand, I'm stopping here and surely take it up with once the questions are addressed.
So thank you, sir. Thank you so much. A long, very informative session. So straight away we go for the questions session, sir.
Now I leave it to you because 2 3 people are raising the hand, so that's what I
Okay.
stopped.
Okay. Then okay.
I'm okay. We'll start with the questions, then again go. I have presentation, but I'll talk on technology.
Okay. If you have presentation, you can score question answer. Then presentation, sir. Which one
Yes,
we want
yes.
to do?
Yeah, we'll allow people to ask questions.
Okay. Right. So once again. Yes. Diksha. Miss Diksha. Diksha. Okay. Manjula. Miss Manjula.
I think their mics are muted.
Yeah, that's why. Diksha, can you unmute your mic?
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, Miss
Hello.
Diksha. So can you
Yeah,
shoot your
Yeah,
am
question?
we
I
are able to
audible?
hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I want to ask a very good evening first,
Yeah,
and
good
it's
evening.
my pleasure to listen your webinar today. My question is relating to artificial intelligence. Actually, this is my one of my favorite topics. So I just wanted to know how will artificial intelligence affect equality among society?
It's a great question. Again, Dipisha, Shivasi, I know you, and you are very, very keen in terms of creating artificial intelligence and other motivated things through social impact.
Yeah.
Especially, okay, let us be very crisp on artificial intelligence. A good thing for India is what we have proven systems, so we no need to create something else from like Europe, where when they want to do a platform of an artificial intelligence, they have to try to demonstrate something and prove to us. But in India, e-business is less of electronics, more of emotions. So
Yes.
for you, what I suggest is what try to use a known epics to define unknown ethics. So what we are trying to say is what we have something called Mahabharat and Ramayana, which is great epics, which is available part of our system, which creates enough to do artificial intelligence in terms of trying to convert something of our culture into a base value system, which we can matter a lot in terms of how to get connect with the people, even though remote and rural locations. For example, like whenever I talk to rural people, I just ask them to say what is a bank and what is an NBFC, which is very complicated question. Every time people say bank means this, bank means that, but if you want to make it very crisp, in the interest of time, a bank means like you can open an account in NBFC, you can't open an account, otherwise both says the similar thing. But if I still tell this to rural, I don't think a rural customer can understand this. But I will straight away given artificial intelligence data setting Rama Avatar is nothing but a bank where Rama is purely process oriented, father obedient, one wife, and he has taken the rituals during tougher times and ensured all the poor to get into rich. And you take Krishna, who is from NBFC, again disruptive cunning, and he is into virtual and he is also into ensure poor to rich. Both are a different model from the same God, Lord Vishnu, to ensure poor to rich. But if you ask this to rural customer, then he says, no, sir, I'm a Ramahu, where I have the details about myself. So then let him get into a bank. He says, no, sir, I don't have any information. I am just getting to that opportunity and trying to build myself. So, okay, he's a Krishna. So get into financial services, get as much as you can. So when you try to communicate and engage with people, we have a very big ethics, which is part of us and which we can try to take it as much as when you go interior parts of our country. And I am very serious in that to say whomsoever has touched such model has reached some great heights and they are trying to see a different prospects and they are getting as much as getting engaged. And we can use a word trusted truth partner, which is nothing but we are talking something else which everybody knows and which is known to everyone, and that digital transformation is nothing but that's where it's going to get connect all of us to take that our cultural values trying to convert us as which is can be easily implemented now and connect to the people which will have value system again which will deliver the best, and it will have a trusted more truthful system also.
Yeah. Agreed, sir.
Thank you.
Nice
Nice
We
question.
can play
question.
with artificial intelligence, don't worry. These are some areas which is god gifted for Indians.
Okay. Nice answer, sir. And next question, Manjula. Miss Manjula. So can you unmute your mic, ma'am? Okay. Okay. And next question is Dr. Umesh K.
Very good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
This is actually, I would like to thank our Honorable Resource Person, Dr. Suresh Shah, sir. And also, I thank our AGIIT Managing Director and team of AGIIT for having given us opportunity to listen to your webinar on this particular evening. My sir, my this simple question I have got. We have technology business incubation in our college. Our theme is IoT and healthcare. Is
Okay.
there any hope for this particular theme to go ahead? So far, we have not succeeded in this particular theme, but still we have got hopes to go along with this theme. From your side, give us suggestion or your opinion or something like that, how to go with this particular theme, IoT and healthcare, especially in Kerala, sir. Kerala, Palakkad district, we have got an office operating from Palakkad.
It's a great question. Again, I do have my branch spot at Palakkad. And again, when post-COVID in India, we have opened offices first in Kerala only. Again, coming back to your question, it is yes. Why I'm telling yes is what good olden days, humans are forced to learn to adopt to technology using GI. Nowadays, technology learns to adopt to humans using artificial intelligence. So the connecting part, IoT and healthcare is going to play a major role, and it is going to have something else more specific for us, because in terms of that multiple patterns which we try to use part of the intelligence from the source to destiny in healthcare is not fully matured because of that intermediate system. We call it like that authorized authentic medical systems are not allowing us to go closer, but surely they will get matured. The kind of COVID, they have also learned a lot, and they are trying to create as much as more towards that choice to change the challenge, and they want to create that much information which is part of the digital, get authentic information part of IoT. The kind of security systems is getting matured. That's what we are seeing, like how this we call as a pandemic word internally with the technology, which says more to do with the belief, behavior, binary, business to convert as benefits. But if you see this multi-experience, multi-channel, multi-modal, a lot more to talk on technology, but it's less to do with more of our kind of health and other areas, which is purely, I'm saying, from the mythology expressions and management expressions, which are part of it, and surely they are trying to expedite. And I'm sure Kerala kind of places which will do, because the kind of healthcare, especially we are trying to do based out of Kerala, is more of an authentic, and it created more of our cultural expression. So creating that cultural, trying to convert that into mythology expressions and getting into management expression, that was the Indian context is slightly having that data which is biased, because people didn't get authentic, and trying to get that task which is measurable, and trying to create the value systems which is going to deploy on that. But I'm sure health using IoT is not far. You can see now also, like majority of the information whichever we fetch globally and trying to engage is using healthcare through IoT, and it is getting empowered as much as so can. But the medical systems has some reservations on that. Surely they will come out with that, because they are also having whom to promote, whom not to promote, and trying to authentic information which will create that digital ethics, and they want to maintain the privacy also. So trying to create that, inventing a better human centered future for such thing which will enable healthcare also do it. But surely Kerala can demonstrate, because already they have enough matured system, even the matured way of delivering and creating that data into deep experiences.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks.
So next question is Rishi Praveen. Mr. Rishi Praveen. Okay, I think.
Okay. He has to unmute his mic.
I think yes. Mr. Rishi Praveen, just unmute your mic, sir. I think. Yeah. Okay, sir. So Mr. Anil Nayak asking question, sir, how many months will it take to reset all industry sector after this pandemic? how long it takes is like as the question actually.
But I'm putting a positive response to that instead of getting into somebody's going to do it. If at all I have to do it, if I want to start and I have to take it, it should not take beyond 6 months. And if you want to say to do it, to start with something else, it should not go beyond 90 days. So whether somebody is going to do it is subject to so many yes, no, and so many other subject to parameters. But I'm sure if you create from the citizen data scientist, like no, we try to bring out as much as information available, and I have to have an update which I am going to create something else. But surely 90 days is more than enough, and we can use that as much as products, because generally we take a thumb rule during natural calamities, how we set back and come out. So good olden days, anything to do with the tsunami, anything to do with some droughts, anything to do with, especially in rural markets, they come out with something else after heavy rains. How best we can do? So 90 days generally we fix it, and we are very successful on that.
Okay. So Ms. Varshini asking how automation bring big platform in future, sir.
One more thing, I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, how automation bring a big platform in future?
I would say how automation is not the right model, which would say like future is going to be more of minds and machines. We are trying to build as much as what we can do and what machines can do. If that is the case, and we are very clear like what all the things we are not going to do, that's going to be the start point for what all the machines going to do, and that's where the automation is going to come. So in India, I will tell you, hybrid model is very successful so far, because we also don't want to give something else to machines and keep quiet. So we will have certain part of it, and something will be more to do with machines. So for me, suppose you take an example of blockchain. A blockchain is nothing but set of ledgers, and it can get automate a process where in our case it takes more than 3 months to clear a small financial case for a particular bill discounting or particular partner to get his ledgers verified and allow for a loan. Today, after putting blockchain, I can get it done within 2 days. Okay, in principle, the technology has automated the process to 2 days. But still, what we feel is what in an Indian context, with keeping the regulators and creating an e-system where everybody has to contribute and everybody has to do something else, where that environment should create, develop, test, support, and release something environment, which is what the demand versus cost effective solution. So we have already defined something else, which is part of our model, and trying to enable it. So automation does a lot, but India has a hybrid model. So we will have maximum 50-50, like no maximum things, even though it is automated, it's more to do with minds versus machines.
Thank you, sir. Nice answer. And the fourth question is Mr. Chaudhary asking, how can we conduct the right person and explain our ideas and take it into the market? Please explain in the proper channel for conducting.
So come again, I missed out your last part.
Actually, how can we contact the right person and explain our ideas and take it the market? Please explain the proper channel for conducting. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me? Can you repeat again?
Yeah. I got it.
Okay, thank you.
See, here the question is not right. First, I'll say like we have to find the proper information for you to do it. I'll give an example, like rather than putting it out. We do talk to more colleges, especially in Mumbai, and we do conduct more incubation centers and come out with the product. So people come and do it out. Here recently, I'll give an example. In my society, I would want to deploy something from Thakur College, where the students has come out with something called dry and waste project, which we can do that the wastage won't be thrown out, it will be directly reused by doing that water defragmentation and try to get best out of it. But when you try to deploy it and when you find it out, even the college was very keen to do it. When some commercial and when some regulations came in, then everybody has to go through some channel and try to fix it out, and then we try to get into a particular agreement, and we got into a particular patent and even an SLA made. And again, we even created a separate unit which is part of the college, and again they will be doing the commercial impacts and service solution, where a student after completing his course as an alumni, he can even join that and get best out of it. So the process is focused, process is neat, and if the expectation is set, then that right model comes out. But if you see, as of today, the channels is what we generally create that part of CSI incubation centers. We allow you to come and present your products and come and tell us to say like what type of ownership you would want to do and what type of engagement you want to take it and what are the levels of information which you have self-directed, so that we can do the capacity planning and coordinate with the expectations in the industry and bring out the intelligence part of the regulators. So this all matters a lot when the particular person who owns it comes out with the right frame and having the confidence in terms of taking to next level. And if you see bringing back to the government into picture, government SLS, it is a different process. Every state has their own mode of doing it. Now if you can see recently, Tamil Nadu government, the chief minister is coming out with so many expectations in terms of individuals where they can come and contribute and they can even participate. They are saying no, we would want to take it up and take to the next level. So we can create such opportunities, also can get capitalized, try to build it internally, or if you say from industry, we can do it out. But I would personally feel my past experience is what, if you are creating the innovation where that particular industry or the relevant person has raised that requirement and you are creating it, those areas it went properly and they get that commercial and they are able to see the end results faster. Otherwise, it's a product of ours. We are trying to convince somebody else. We are trying to create that whatever logistics to defend and define. That's where that slowness comes out, because people take some more time to understand technology, and technology is so complicated and tricky where people use some normal or even powerful experts to just tell like no, X can work like Y can work like X, that the common man will get easily confused. So creating that and putting at a proper prospect, the right is what from the person, like what level of information and how confident is he, and try and connect with the institution, whichever institution it belongs to, and create a small patent, whatever, before getting into the access, and route through again NASCOM, CII, CSI, even IBM Incubation Center from Bangalore. We will guide you right through that to get into that. And if you are very strong enough to say, no, sir, we can do even the product before the industry is getting into picture, that's one way of doing it. That's where the product gets materialized easy, and we get more to do with other things to work faster.
Okay. So the next question from Sambasiva Rao, sir.
Yeah.
During this COVID, how newcomers in the industry follow and which type of product requirements better startups?
For you now, after this COVID, everybody is newcomer only. So that the people will tell you accordingly how best we can do it. But surely, see, this is nothing to do with the newcomer or the people existent. It's what purely the projects, what we handle, what we see. And I'll give a different example for this. We struggle a lot in rural India for connectivity, where 2G, 3G itself is a big deal for us to do it. Now government is suddenly saying, don't worry, we are going to get 5G. So for me, it's a new potential thing to handle or trying to build in. But I'm sure like it's not just a 5G, it's more to do with the kind of faster speed customer wants, again a lower latency to be built in, greater density. So the ground reality is entirely different. It's nothing to do with 5G. It's more to do with that infrastructure, which is part of our government has to get hope, and so that we can get best out of it. So it's new or old doesn't matter, but the kind of project what you are trying to do and trying to create that future which is having that core assumptions and trying to get intersection between people, technology, and building the unique smart spaces is going to create more information. For example, recently we are doing something to do with smart cities, part of Gujarat, where we have put enough CCTVs and other things part of that, but we couldn't do anything for a longer period. But now what we are telling them during post-COVID, we said the CCTVs are going to help us in terms of creating an awareness of that medical and other things, and even giving some message to the people to say what type of things the CCTV can be give part of the post-COVID. Now everybody is saying like, no, the CCTVs to be more implemented and bring out something value system, so that how people can create that using the social distancing and other things, and these cameras are going to function more, and instead of earlier it is 100, now it has gone to 1000 or 1500 implementation going further on that. So it's purely the kind of projects and kind of expectation, and really the demand from the market. If those things are there, surely I don't think COVID is going to stop us not doing anything else.
Okay. Okay. So the next question is Manon Money. Yes, ma'am. Just ask the question, ma'am. Manon Money. Can you unmute the mic, ma'am? Okay. Rishi Praveen. Rishi Praveen. Yeah. Yes, sir. Rishi Praveen.
Yeah, is there.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Can you ask the? Mr. Rishi? I think line is some confusion, sir. Manon Mani, ma'am. Manon Mani, ma'am.
Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
Until sir.
Yeah. Have any question, ma'am?
No sir, no sir.
See, since everybody's question is more towards post-COVID, I'm saying I'm seeing even maximum people whom I meet, education is going to have a very big impact. Even we no need to work on some other industries. You can take education as an industry and trying to create. It's going to matter a lot for us, and it is going to have a very big new term. Like for example, I'll tell you. Recently, we had something to do with more than 930 TB to 1.5 PB of information, which is part of one of the college from Maharashtra, and they are running some trust institution also trying to create an offline multifold. So when you start deciding that solution, it went into a chaos or vague, or people start telling vendor A tells like spend X crores to get it. Vendor B again says spend some X lakhs, you'll get it. But find out some solutions, and especially from college students, we found that full thing, especially from 930 TB to 1.5 PB, data got loaded in 5 to 6 virtual containers, and they are able to use it, and that particular data is available, and they do have that seek and use model, plus the office space also they have tried to get best out of it. So there are so many destructive ways doing it out, and people, especially the youngsters, to bring out the change, and that local remote you call online versus offline, or even trying to bring out that what are elements, especially which is properly monitored, understood, and optimize the functions of all physical entities, is going to change that world. So let us hope for it, and we had enough scope, and COVID has created as much as pockets, and it is creating as much as innovations and information, where people realizing without technology it is going to be something tough, and with technology how to make it the day-to-day life so tricky and normal and powerful. That's what at the end of the day, the demand versus supply, and the need for a simple common man to get built out using the technology.
Okay.
So
Thank you, sir.
it is enormous potential.
Okay. So the question from Dr. E. Arul,
Yeah.
AI to product cyber security attack on any tools.
He wants a tool.
SW, I think S/W. I don't know this. They want to ask any. What about the production of AI for security attack, the security cyber systems? They're asking like that, I think.
Okay. So we can see the logistics after this COVID, the work from home, especially from the corporate, we found it's again the world's population. They said more than 4.5 billion have access internet, and they are using almost 6.4 hours daily. So that's the kind of information given, and use of intimacy of tech metrics to be secured, value differences, risk and compliances to be ensured part of the system. That's where we have found like bringing it out as work from home is going to matter a lot of ensuring and empowering the end user with multiple entities connecting using the technology solution. And surely the kind of technology which currently we use part of the end user gadgets and connecting the fort, what we call the central site, which try to use as much as automated data, which is using to assist the business users to work from home, has enough to have drag and drop of all business less than the information which is digitally patterned with all inbuilt security solutions. For example, we have three levels of security solutions. When you say any user wants to work in public cloud, and especially the data is put for the public and trying to utilize. We have that something to do with A to B, A to C, B to C, again C to D kind of information materials, part of the level of information, and again the critical end user level of information, which is categorized part of the system. When it goes very closer to a private cloud, and which is more to do with a bulk process and an end user demands based on a request or for a particular information or an entity request, there it is more to do with that particular information validated information security is used. When it goes more in terms of DADC, which is more to do with multiple data into multiple containers trying to fetch and trying to use it, we have built it out as much of information which is part of the data which is at a firewall level and trying to get expedited faster, so that the privacy and other ethics of the information is also matured and trying to get catered to that. So which is very high level, which is trying to create, and the financial industry is going through that and trying to empower it to bring it out. Surely other industries also getting matured, and other industries also getting that kind of solutions. But as of now, if you see from the end user and the financial transactions it's taken more care, and the security systems are deployed as much because the implications are very high and they don't want to compromise on the complexity.
Okay. So thank you, sir. And Mr. Rahul Kumar asking, sir, in future, if all are become automotive and artificial intelligence innovation in industries and factories, is there maybe a chance to lose their jobs or daily wages labors? What about them, sir? He's asking, Rahul Kumar.
See, job wise, I would say like no, it's a fear factor, because you can see from the expectation who are all the running horse, who are all the people who have created the different value system. Surely they have done it, and they have taken it to the next level of information, and they have proved also to create that as a targeted information. You see the number of information, number of transformation, number of artificial intelligence. Again, I said in India, it's more going to have as much as minds versus machines. So minds are going to continue, and minds are going to get experience, and minds are going to control the systems. If you see good olden days, we had enough individual systems. Today we call something called it's like PaaS, SaaS. Everything has something to do with machines. But I can see it's more bunch of people working in all the segments. Only the challenge is what good olden days we had only one individual skill sets. Now we should have multiple skill sets, and we should even push beyond boundaries to create as much as breakthrough, look outside our current environment and try to create a qualitative and authentic and relevant and informative process which enables us to be more towards the job and create some unique areas. That's what, again, this all, even entrepreneurship is nothing but, it's not like we have to create our own. You can work in a company also. Within the company you can be a supplier, you can be internally creating the manufacturers in terms of a substantial financier, and create that sub even creativity manufacturer, more of an entrepreneur, part of the group, part of the company, part of the corporate, part of the organization, and trying to deliver, deploy, and get the best out of it. But it's purely, it's more to do with your multitasking. I don't think it's challenging for job. We have enough jobs, and again I can tell you, good olden days we had something called only chief innovation officer and chief digital officer, chief or technology officer. Today we have chief data officer, chief CISO, chief information security officer, chief security officer, chief data officer, chief digital officer. Created that many profiles, and still it continues. And now somebody says like chief innovation officer, somebody says chief inventory officer, chief infrastructure officer. So there are enough among us to play around, and it is more to do with you get an intent, are given a task, set targets, everything is measurable, and everything has one is a philosophy, and it surely has enough options which is going to create for all of us to create a multiple and multitasking environment which is going to have as much as information. That's what the technology all about. And you can see also in all the areas, especially even medical, other places, it's not just technology, it is creating behind the screen so many options for multiple people. So people should not fear for things. It's only thing, come out with a multitasking, a scope, create something else which is more diversified, and trying to get that technology should run you rather than you should not run the technology.
Okay, I think the final two questions, sir. Sir, respected sir, from Jyotish Kumar, the question is, sir, any suggestion for smart farming for farmers in our Tiruvannamalai district, Tamil Nadu, in the crucial time?
So thanks, Jyotish. I still believe I'm happy for a HOD from electronics talking about farmers. Okay, so Again, I can tell you, farmers, we should not at least treat in future from digital to tell something like that for farmers. It should inbuilt. Like again, I mentioned in Maharashtra, majority of the colleges adopted some villages. They are sending students to create as much as value system to find something to do with what we call something to do with even to find out the value system of the soil or a water movement or even the geospatial or even measuring the climate update, all the things coming part of it now, part of the system. But earlier what happened, we invent something, we go back to the farmers rather than involve them, create and understand from them what is their concern and appreciate like what is the requirement which is going to benefit for them to get best out of it. I would promise you to say that all-in-one tractor, whatever, I don't know in India the brands are going to become, from our side we should contribute to find it will give a product value for those crops what are they are farming it out, and that crop value should be determined and forced accepted across the world. So that's where the big request from farmers, and surely the technology should enable them so that they get best out of the yield, because they invest a lot and they get 20 rupees and some major parts. I don't want to get into the brands where they earn 200 rupees out of it, rather than let the farmer earn 180 rupees and the other people earn 20 rupees. Let us work on that, and surely it's in our hands. We have to create that information, and we have to create that visualized using the data space and align the interest of omni channels and create that logistics which create multiple collaborations and let the farmer get best out of it. But sure, it's not far, because already in abroad wherever I visited, they are saying this is part of current system and they are doing it. In our place also it's not so far, and the kind of COVID and other things will enable and be an eye opener, and surely the farmer will get best out of it. Instead of farmer, he will be one of the technology person, where he will create his views, he will create his expectations, he will define his value so that that particular device should get part of the yield and do the farming support for that particular person.
So I think the final question, I think Mr. Muruganandam. Yes, Muruganandam. Sir, give your suggestion for new startups.
Anything is your current problem is new startup. So come on with your problem. We are with you, and disturb us as much as we can so that we do it. And sure, post COVID, everybody will have some problems. So for example, I'll tell you, I'm writing some start stories, which I plan to write for 108 start stories, which is nothing but our day-to-day problems of technology and what concerns we are facing and how to come out. I already completed almost some 68 stories, which is nothing but our day-to-day kind of expectations, and we miss out. For example, like everybody buy medicines and keep at home, and very few people try to reuse it or get it properly done. Otherwise, majority people throw it to the dustbin. Where we said, like, can we create an app from the medicine vendor itself, where he will raise a bar back to us to say these are the medicines which you bought. If not used before expiry date, we can hand over back to him. He'll pay a premium, but it will be given to the people who are from the poor. And we have almost some 72% of the people in India still they are not even slightly eligible for medicines. So that's all projects available, and it's purely your problem is our statement. So come with the problem, surely we'll come out with a solution, and we'll make the best out of it.
Really wonderful answer, sir. And I think we have time. I have one more question, I think.
Yeah, I'm open.
Okay, Ms. Varshini asking, how data science and machine learning will help in digital world, sir?
How?
How data science and machine learning will help in digital world?
Okay. See, digital world is nothing but our practice, our expectations. If you give the trusted truth information, it will be trusted truth information. If you give false fake information, then it is going to give that output also false fake information. So let us all contribute and try to fix whether that particular data information is authentic and it is reality, so that it gets a proper outcome. For example, like you can see now post COVID, they are coming out with so many expectations from mobile. Still, I found people are giving some fake information. People are trying to do it. Like for example, you see from Google today, majority people use Google as information which is not so healthy. For example, if you see Google Maps versus Google Earth, very few people know Google Maps is nothing but it is for us, by the people, for the people, given to the people. Meaning I can go and put even Tirunamalai Engineering College in Bombay and it will accept. But if I want to use that as authentic and make it more digital, then I have to use Google Earth, which is nothing but an authentic information which is part of Google. So let us have something called Google Earth, which is reliable, and it creates more in terms of information to the people, again for the beneficiary, and let all us see like there's an information to be taken for information, like rather than it's not somebody has taken it or somebody given it as an aspiration or somebody is putting it just because it's available as an information. So let us not do something called Google, let us do something called Google Earth.
So thank you, sir. Final question is what are the skills to be required for students and how to implement it?
I would say instead of students, it's more to do with faculties, where I would want faculties to identify or even emphasize like what people can come out with, and bring out that practices what they tell, and bring out like things as a value system, because it's going to be more in terms of reach and speed is going to be the mantra of technology in future. But majority of the times if you see, like we are going only by the best practices, so it's not necessarily the best practices going to create as much as tech predictions. It's going to have as much as more classified into the intelligence, which is nothing but the digital and mesh. Mesh technology is very less now because we don't have the complicated, tricky, and the powerful with information comes from experts, which is on demand, and that need which is created by the people for the people. So create as much as information mesh. Don't live only with the best practices. Bring out all the information, whatever it is for us, and like create that value system and ensure like whatever best we can do it. Suppose somebody says whether robot is right one. Robot is right one provided the robot program is written properly, and whether it's going to help. If the demand for all of us is saying, can we have post-COVID, will set up our aspiration like we would want to have our next generation, and our dream is nothing but robots should support us in our personal even cooking. And I can see after COVID, like majority people will feel relaxed, even the women at home, they are spending most of the time in cooking and doing some day-to-day automated space. If a simple question whether robots are going to replace the people at home, then whether we are ready to share that truthful information and reliable information which is going to create so that we all can spend holidays in the space, so that the robots will do maximum work at home, and the entire world is moving towards that and expectation is set on that. So the culture is fine, adoption is fine, only the sharing information is should get more authentic, and sharing information should be more in terms of reliable and truthful. If those things works, the future India with digital is going to change the world, and let us hope for the best, and that's what our all our dreams, and let us hoping for the best.
Okay. So for one final question from Mr. Vijay Kumar. Sir, can you suggest some must have skills for entrepreneur?
Can you suggest?
Some must have skills for entrepreneurs.
See, it's I would say like it's more of a research, and again it's purely the data collection. So let us have the some 2 3 questions asked internally to say what are the core challenges as an Indian entrepreneur struggle with today. Suppose if it is 1 2 3, one is what we have idea, we don't have support. We have support, then we don't have money. We have money, but we don't have an idea. It's again it is into a pyramid, and again it is into a circle where the actual entrepreneur struggle in India. And again, how as a startup or a local entrepreneur ecosystem evolved. If you ask simple questions to say, like it's purely the people get frustrated and they come out with their own expectations, or they come out with some suggestions. And what type of support and available to entrepreneurs from industry and education. Again, I'm saying like industry generally demands, industry is more into a beneficiary model. So let us make them part of it when you try to create any product. Let them be responsible when you create a product, and industry should be the highlights in terms of creating and supporting us the education system, or even the platform for us like what we should not do. So those kind of things generally creates that research design of an entrepreneur, which gives more growth in terms of growth drivers for motivating the Indian, I would say like entrepreneurs is not the right word, Indian founders to have set up and run a entrepreneurship simple startup model.
Okay. So, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So I
See
have
these
presentation, sir.
all those things you have practiced, and Ariel, you have. I think your law will say like no, you have a long way to go, but still, such things generally enables, and I'm at least happy to see you people fitting into all the definitions. So it's to you and to your team, it's a great thing. and looking forward for any projects which is part of the country. Surely will like to do in future also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have any presentations or want to share any presentation, or we close the session, sir?
I don't know whether you want to see, then I will put it, or I can start the presentation.
So you can share the presentation, sir. We have time actually.
So you want?
You have time. You have enough time, sir, or you want to?
No, it is useful presentation. It is made for you people only.
Yeah, we are waiting, sir. No problem. We are waiting. That's no problem.
Yes, slightly the problem is what some technical. So I'll immediately connect it. You can see that, and I'll surely go one by one.
Can you can share the screen, sir.
Yeah, I'm just. Your technical person is there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, 1 second, sir.
Putting the PPT.
Okay. I think you can possibly share, sir. You have a share screen, right? There.
I don't have it. I'm clicking it.
You can send WhatsApp also, I think. 1 second.
Generally, it comes. I'll just check.
Oh, okay. 1 second, sir. Muranandam. Only host. 1 second, sir. I think is there. அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணுமா? ஒன்லி ஹோஸ்ட் மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு ஷேரிங் ஆப்ஷன். பிரசன்டேஷன் ஷேர் பண்ணுமா?
Sir, let me make him a host, sir.
What do you say? Come again, ma? சொல்லுமா?
So I'll make him a host.
Okay, okay.
Because it is not
1 second,
having the serve option.
Okay. இல்ல சார் he will make a host. உங்களை ஹோஸ்டா மாத்துறாங்க சார் இப்ப.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Now you can share, sir, I think.
It's coming.
No, sir.
Just give me 2 minutes. Huh?
No problem. Or whether you can send WhatsApp to me, sir. Can I share or?
That's what I'm just checking. This
Okay.
should have share option. I don't know. Here it's not coming. It's coming more.
Okay.